What makes a great entrepreneur? I think someone who's a great entrepreneur is super open minded about learning about everything. Someone who just absorbs information and knowledge. I think it's super important to kind of understand how the world works to really understand if your product will thrive or if you need to even pivot to something. You know how to pivot. You know how things work. You can't just be, blind to the fact that the world has so many different moving parts and the way things exist. Like, for example, if you were building a startup and it was some kind of technology, and now suddenly AI is huge, you need to have awareness of how these things work, even if it's not on a technical level. As a technical major, I still want to get into something that requires more general knowledge rather than like really deep technical thoughts and thought processes and workflows. And that's why I'm really interested in being an entrepreneur because they know how business works. They know how the world operates. They know how to kind of, be street smart in a way, like figure out how to make a business work. You need to know like how things are working in general. Like for example, like if you know everything about the transportation industry or know a lot about it, you can find problems. Like that's how Uber was started. There was an issue. There was like this demand for cheaper transportation and then drivers not getting paid enough and taking out the middleman and all these things and these concepts that exist. You can learn so much from like history and all these kind of just humanities and social topics, which I think are really cool thing about entrepreneurship, where you just don't want to just be technology obsessed. You want to know how everything works just to be able to like build any kind of business. um, I think that makes a really good entrepreneur, someone who's like really open minded to learning about everything. And then on top of that, being able to accept failure and criticism is also really important. There's so many different characteristics. Being super proactive, um, not having too much like fear in what you're doing, just kind of be like bullish in a way and like risk taking. All these things kind of work together to make a really good entrepreneur.